Welcome back to Crypto in 60, your daily crypto bite. I'm glad you're here because today the market is painting a pretty ugly picture across the board, and there's a lot to unpack. Here's what we're covering today. Bitcoin is sliding, dipping toward the 71,000 range. Ethereum is feeling the pressure too, sitting just above $2,200. Solana is pulling back sharply as altcoins bleed. XRP is holding up better than most, but it's still in the red. Cardano and Polkadot are among the hardest hit in today's session. And Dogecoin, yes, Doge, is quietly following the crowd lower. 6 stories, one fast-paced breakdown. Let's dive into our first story. Bitcoin is under pressure today, trading around $71,400. That's a drop of nearly 2% in the last 24 hours. After weeks of attempting to hold ground above key support levels, Bitcoin is showing signs of fatigue. The broader macro environment continues to weigh heavily on risk assets, and crypto is no exception. Traders are watching closely to see if Bitcoin can hold the $71,000 level as a floor, because if it breaks below, the next major support zone sits quite a bit lower. Sentiment across the market is cautious right now, with many investors moving to the sidelines and waiting for clearer direction. The Fear and Greed Index has tilted back toward fear territory, which often signals that short-term volatility is far from over. Up next, Ethereum is also taking a hit today, currently sitting at just above $2,200, down about 1.9% on the day. ETH has been struggling to find momentum as investors remain cautious across the entire crypto space. What's particularly notable here is that Ethereum has consistently underperformed Bitcoin in recent weeks, which is a trend that often signals broader altcoin weakness ahead. Developers and the Ethereum community remain focused on upcoming network upgrades, but in the short term, price action is being driven purely by macro sentiment and liquidity concerns. Key support for Ethereum sits around the $2,100 mark, and if buying pressure doesn't return soon, that level could be tested. For long-term holders, this dip may look like an opportunity, but short-term traders are clearly nervous right now. Moving on, Solana is sliding today, dropping around 2.4% to trade at just over $82. After a period of relative strength earlier this year, Sol is now feeling the weight of a broader altcoin sell-off. Solana's ecosystem has seen explosive growth in decentralized finance and meme coin activity. But when market conditions turn risk off, even the strongest ecosystems tend to see capital flight. The $80 level is a psychologically important zone for Solana, and traders will be watching to see if it holds as buyers step in. Volume has been declining alongside price, which can sometimes indicate that sellers are exhausting themselves, but it can also mean a lack of conviction from buyers. The community remains bullish on Solana's long-term fundamentals, but the short-term chart is telling a more cautious story right now. Up next, here's a small bright spot in today's sea of red. XRP is actually holding up better than most of the market. XRP is currently trading at a bit above $1.30, down only about 1.2% on the day. That's significantly less of a drop compared to most major altcoins, which are seeing 2 to 5% declines. This relative strength could be a signal that XRP holders are more conviction-driven right now, or it could simply mean that XRP hasn't seen as much speculative activity recently, making it less volatile. On-chain metrics for XRP have been fairly stable, and the ongoing developments around Ripple's legal and regulatory journey continue to keep long-term investors engaged. Whether XRP can maintain this relative outperformance if Bitcoin continues to fall remains to be seen. But for now, it's standing out from the crowd. Moving on, among today's biggest losers, Cardano and Polkadot are standing out for all the wrong reasons. Cardano, or ADA, is down about 4%, trading at just under 24 cents. Polkadot, or DOT, is the hardest hit of the major coins today, sliding nearly 5% and trading at just above $1.20. Both of these projects have faced challenges in maintaining developer activity and user engagement compared to faster-growing ecosystems like Solana and Ethereum. For Cardano, The 20-cent level is a key psychological support zone that many long-term holders are hoping will hold. For Polkadot, breaking below $1.20 could open the door to further downside pressure. These are projects with dedicated communities and ongoing development, but right now, the market is clearly not rewarding patience. Up next, and finally, let's talk about Doge. Dogecoin is down about 1.9% today, trading at just a bit under 9 cents. Doge has a history of defying logic and surging on sentiment alone. But today, it's simply following the broader market lower alongside everything else. The meme coin space in general has been quieter recently, with speculative appetite cooling off as macro uncertainty keeps investors cautious. Doge still commands one of the largest and most passionate communities in all of crypto, and it remains a go-to ticker for retail traders looking for volatility. The 9-cent level has been a recurring area of interest for buyers, so it will be worth watching whether that support holds or gives way. For now, Doge is doing what the market is doing, and that means going down today. And that wraps up today's episode of Crypto in 60, your daily crypto bite. It's a tough day across the board, but markets move in cycles, and understanding what's happening is the first step to navigating it confidently. Before you go, please remember, nothing you heard today is financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. If you found today's breakdown helpful, give us a like, share this with a fellow crypto enthusiast, and make sure you're subscribed to Crypto in 60 so you never miss a daily update. We'll see you tomorrow for your next Crypto Bite. Stay sharp, stay informed, and take care.